The night a 90-year-old veteran showed three bikers what real power looks like ever. Seen someone's entire world flip upside down in less than 60 seconds. Because what I am about to tell you is the kind of story that makes you rethink everything you thought you knew about age, strength, and who you should never mess with. Picture this for a moment. It's almost midnight, the kind of late-night hour when the world feels empty, when gas stations become these lonely islands of fluorescent light in an ocean of darkness. You know that feeling, right? When you're the only car on the road and everything just feels ... quiet. Too quiet, maybe. Now, into this silence, an old pickup truck pulls up to the pumps, and I'm not talking about some shiny, modern vehicle. No, this thing is ancient. Rust creeping along the edges, paint faded from years of sun and rain, the kind of truck that has been through more miles than most people will ever drive in their lifetime. The engine ticks as it cools down, and for a moment, everything stays still. Then the door opens. Out steps a woman, but not just any woman. She's 90 years old, moving with the careful precision of someone who's learned to respect what age does to a body. She's wearing this old military jacket, the kind that tells stories without saying a word. You can see it's been worn 1,000 times, washed until the fabric's soft, faded patches where insignias used to be. Her hair, silver as moonlight, is tucked neatly under a cap that's seen better days. And in her hand, a cane. Solid, reliable, necessary. But here's where it gets interesting. Walking beside her, matching her pace perfectly, is this magnificent German shepherd. I mean, this dog is something else. Tall, powerful, muscles moving under a thick coat, eyes that seem to take in everything at once. This isn't some house pet that lounges on couches and begs for table scraps. No, this dog has presence, authority, the kind of animal that makes you instinctively take a step back. His name, Rex, and the way he moves. Like he's on duty, like every shadow matters, every sound registers, every movement in his peripheral vision gets catalogued and assessed. He's scanning the gas pumps, the dark corners of the lot, the distant headlights on the highway protection mode, always on, never off. The woman heads inside, Rex right at her side, and the clerk behind the counter glances up from his phone. Young guy? Probably college-aged, working the graveyard shift because someone has to. He nods politely. Evening, ma'am. She gives him this small smile, warm but brief, the smile of someone who's lived enough life to know that politeness costs nothing. Evening, she replies, her voice steady, calm. Just need to fill up and grab some water for my partner here. Partner, not my dog. Not my buddy or my baby, or any of the cutesy terms people usually use. Partner. Like they're equals. Like they've been through things together that most people couldn't imagine. The clerk catches that word choice and smiles a little wider. There's respect in that word. History. For a few seconds, everything's peaceful. Normal. Just another late-night transaction at a lonely gas station. And then the sound hits. Loud. Aggressive. The kind of noise that shatters peace like a hammer through glass. 3 motorcycles roar into the parking lot, engines thundering, drowning out everything else. Harley-Davidsons. By the sound of them. Big bikes. Loud bikes. The kind that announce their presence, whether you want them to or not. The bikes circle once, then park haphazardly near the entrance. 3 men climb off. Leather vests covered in patches, arms sleeved in tattoos. That swagger that comes from thinking you own every room you walk into, and you can smell it even before they get close. Beer. Cheap beer. Too mucho italiano. The kind of night where bad decisions pile up like dirty dishes. The door slams open hard enough to rattle the frame. Te strident, taking up space the way people do when they think the world should move around them. Eyes already scanning for entertainment. For trouble, for anything to make their night more interesting. And their eyes land on her. The old woman. The cane? The dog? The biggest one. He's got this grin spreading across his face. The kind of grin that promises nothing good. He elbows one of his buddies and laughs loud and mocking. Well, well, well. Look at this, boys. Granny and her oversized mutt. Someone forget to tell you it's past your bedtime. His friends burst out laughing, like it's the funniest thing they've heard all night. Slapping each other's backs, pointing, making a show of it. The old woman doesn't react. Not a flinch. Not a twitch. She simply places her bottle of water on the counter, her movements deliberate and calm. When she speaks, her voice cuts through their laughter like a knife through butter. Clear. Controlled. Son, it's late. Best not to test a dog like that. Oh, but that just makes him laugh harder. The big one steps closer, looming over her, trying to use his size to intimidate, trying to make himself feel bigger by making someone else feel smaller. That mutt, he practically spits the word. Please, I've eaten dogs bigger than that for breakfast. And then he does something monumentally stupid. He kicks at Rex's paw. Not hard. Not really. More like a dismissive shove with his boot. The kind of disrespect that says you don't matter. But Rex doesn't move, doesn't yelp or back away. Instead, this sound comes from deep in his chest. A growl. Low, rumbling, primal. The kind of sound that travels through your bones and wakes up every survival instinct your ancestors passed down to you. It's not loud, but it doesn't need to be. It's a warning written in a language older than words. The entire store goes silent. Even the bikers pause, just for a second, because something in that sound registers. Danger. Real danger. The clerk behind the counter, his voice comes out as barely more than a whisper, shaky and nervous. Sir, Doc, please don't do that. But men who've been drinking and looking for trouble, they don't listen to quiet warnings. The big one laughs it off and takes it further. He shoves the old woman's shoulder. Not, gently. Hard enough that she stumbles, has to catch herself with her cane, the tip tapping once against the linoleum floor to steady her balance. And that's when everything changes. Her voice drops. Not louder. Quieter, actually. But there's steel in it now. Command. The kind of tone that doesn't ask. It directs. Rex, she says. Calm. As someone ordering coffee, call it in. The bikers blink. Look at each other. Confused now. Wait, what'd she just say? Rex turns away from them, and for the first time, they notice something they missed before. He's wearing a vest. Not a decorative one. A tactical one, with pockets and patches and a small black button on the side. Rex presses his paw against it. A soft beep echoes in the quiet store. 5 seconds pass. They feel like 5 minutes. The bikers are looking at each other, half smiling, half confused, like they're in on some joke they don't understand yet. Then a voice comes through a speaker on Rex's vest. Male, professional. Alert, ma'am. You all right? The room goes absolutely dead silent. You could hear a pin drop. The fluorescent lights hum overhead. Someone's breathing too fast. The old woman's tone doesn't waver even slightly. Negative, code for breach. The biggest biker snorts, trying to laugh it off. But there's less confidence now. Less swagger. Oh, you've got to be kidding me with this. Da 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 da. Double quotes. He doesn't finish the sentence. Because outside, the world explodes into action. 3 black SUVs screech into the parking lot from seemingly nowhere. Tires smoking, headlights blazing. Doors fly open before the vehicles even fully stop. Men and women pour out in tactical gear, rifles held low and ready, badges glinting under the parking lot lights. Boots hit pavement in perfect rhythm, voices sharp and commanding. Secure the perimeter, eyes on the entrance. Civilians inside. The bikers spin around, faces draining of color, bravado evaporating like water on hot asphalt. The leader's voice comes out strangled, confused, scared. Who Who the hell are these people? A tall man, clearly in charge, strides through the door like he owns the place. Because in a way, he does. His eyes sweep the room in one practiced motion, assessing, cataloging, prioritizing. They land on the old woman. Ma'am, are you all right? She nods once, and there's the tiniest hint of amusement in her eyes. Took you long enough, Martinez. The man almost smiles, then he turns to face the three bikers, who are now pressed against the candy rack, hands involuntarily rising in surrender even though no one's told them to yet. You boys, he says slowly, deliberately, have any idea who you just put your hands on? Blank stares. Nervous silence. One of them swallows hard enough that you can hear it. The man points at the woman's jacket, at the faded patches, at the insignia that has been washed, nearly invisible, but is still there if you know what to look for. That is Agent Margaret Daniels. Retired FBI Counterterrorism Division, 40 years of service. 3 presidential commendations. She's taken down cells, dismantled operations, and saved more lives than you've probably met in your entire existence. He reaches down and rests a hand on Rex's head, and the dog's tail gives one solid thump against the floor. And this is Rex. Former Canine Unit. Explosive detection specialist. He saved 5 agents during a raid back in '09 when a secondary device went undetected. He's got more decorations than most human officers. The color has completely left the biggest biker's face. His voice comes out small, uncertain, nothing like the swagger from 5 minutes ago. Wait, What? That's... We-D-I-D... dot. 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 Double quotes. Margaret's eyes meet his. Steady. Unflinching. Not angry. Just. Dot. Knowing. Told you not to test the dog. 2 officers move in, cuffs already out, and the bikers don't even think about resisting. Hands behind backs. Writes read in that practiced monotone that speaks of 1,000 arrests. The leader of the bikers tries to stammer out something. Anything. We... We didn't know. We were just... We had some drinks and... Double quotes. Margaret watches them, and when she speaks, there's no malice in her voice. Just truth. Simple, undeniable truth. So here's what I want you to take away from this. Here's the lesson that matters. Respect isn't something you give based on appearance, based on age, based on assumptions. It is something you give because every single person you meet has lived a life you know nothing about, has survived things you can't imagine, has earned respect through struggles and victories you'll never see. Treat everyone like they might be Margaret Daniels. Because maybe they are. And even if they're not, even if they're just regular people living regular lives, they still deserve your respect. Your kindness, your assumption of their worth. Because here's the truth that those bikers learned the hard way. Underestimating people is expensive. Disrespecting people is dangerous. And assuming you're the toughest one in the room is usually a mistake. The real warriors, they're the ones who fought so hard and so long that they don't need to fight anymore. They've earned their peace. And they'll defend it when necessary, but they don't go looking for conflict. Margaret just wanted to get gas and water for her partner. That's it. Simple. Mundane. The kind of thing everyone does without thinking twice. But she got pushed, got disrespected, got assaulted, technically, when that hand hit her shoulder, and she responded with exactly the amount of force necessary. No more, no less. Professional. Controlled. Effective. That's what separates people who lived through real danger from people who just play at being tough. The real ones know that violence is always the last option. That force should be measured and appropriate. that the goal isn't to hurt anyone. It's to stop the threat, restore safety, and go home. Rex understood this too. That growl wasn't aggression. It was warning. Bike off. Bike off. Don't push this further. You don't want to see what happens next. But they didn't listen. People drunk on their own perceived power rarely do. And so they got the education they needed, delivered by professionals who deal with real threats for a living. Not drunks in a gas station, not posturing bikers trying to feel tough. Real threats. Terrorists. Criminals. People actually dangerous. Those officers showed up ready for anything and found 3 men who immediately realized they were hilariously outmatched. 3 against however many officers were in those SUVs. 8, 10. All trained, all armed, all coordinated. The math wasn't even close. And Margaret, she didn't gloat, didn't mock them. Just stated, simple fact, I told you not to test the dog. Because she'd given them a way out. A warning, an opportunity to make a better choice. They didn't take it. So they learned. Think about the clerk, though. That young guy working the graveyard shift, probably to pay for college or support himself, expecting nothing but boredom and maybe the occasional drunk customer. He witnessed something that'll stick with him forever. A moment that probably changed how he sees the world, because now he knows. Now he's seen proof that heroes are real, that people who've dedicated their lives to protecting others actually exist, not just in movies, but in the real world, pumping gas at midnight like everyone else. He saw a 90-year-old woman stand her ground against 3 men and win without throwing a single punch. He saw a dog trained so well that one command brought an entire response team. He saw teamwork and partnership that transcended species and age, and any limitation you might think exists. That's a gift, really. To witness that. To know for certain that good people, brave people, capable people are out there. Still serving, even in retirement. Still ready, still worthy of respect and admiration. And somewhere tonight, Margaret and Rex are home. Maybe she's reading a book in her favorite chair. Maybe Rex is sprawled on a dog bed, snoring softly, dreaming of whatever highly trained military dogs dream about. Probably tennis balls and successful missions. Their lives didn't change tonight. They just had an interruption, an unwelcome one, but handled with the same competence they brought to every challenge over decades of service. Tomorrow they'll wake up, have breakfast, maybe take a walk in the morning air when Rex's joints feel better, and Margaret S. Kane taps its familiar rhythm on the sidewalk. They'll live their quiet retirement to veterans who've earned their peace, until the next time someone makes the mistake of thinking age equals weakness, or that a cane means helpless, or that a dog is just a dog. And then they'll remember. The world will remind them. Margaret and Rex will show them. Because real strength doesn't retire. It just waits. Patiently. Quietly. Ready. Always ready. So if this story moved you, if it made you think, if it reminded you that respect costs nothing but means everything, pass it on. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Tell it to someone who might be underestimating the older generation. Remind people that age brings wisdom, experience, and capabilities that youth can't match. We live in a world that worships youth and strength and loudness, that thinks confidence equals competent, that believes the biggest voice in the room deserves the most respect. But Margaret Daniels and her partner Rex prove something different. They prove that quiet competence beats loud arrogance every single time. That real power doesn't need to announce itself. That the most dangerous people in any room are usually the ones who hope they never have to prove it.